disturbing Reddit accounts. You be on Reddit doing it. I don't use Reddit. What am I talking about? But 4 months disturbing Reddit accounts. It's Halloween, spooky season. See what you talking about.
Found cry for help on Reddit from Thai factory worker.
It be Reddit posts from 9-10 centuries ago, bro.
Post was referring to the comments left by a user named
Appreciate you, bro.
Fuji Tagaikin 001 on seemingly
Last time pausing, and then on top of that, these be having the most mysterious names. Fuji Taigon 001. Think about it like this though. This might be some Stranger Things type shit.
There were 44 comments in total, with the first one appearing on r/promos on February 22nd, 2017. And with a single exception, all contained the same words. I face too serious problem of human rights at Fuji Tagaikan, Thailand. Please help me. Searching for Fuji Tagaikan, Thailand on Google leads to a factory of the same name. And while the factory is located in Thailand, the company that oversees its operations is Japanese.
Bro, do y'all think this is not even in... Bro, them buildings that be abandoned and shit is for sure some operations going on in their gang. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's no way there's something going on.
So, from the looks of things, these comments were likely pleas for help from someone who had to work in horrible conditions at this factory, possibly even against their will.
Walk in and stream it. How do I tell you? W ideas whole time. I do that idea, a nigga gonna come up behind me. I'm done.
At first, but is actually quite plausible. You see, Thailand has a major modern-day slavery problem, primarily in its fishing industry, but can also extend to other industries as well. With over 400,000 people being forced to work for little to no compensation.
Bro, I thought Japan was top dog. I'm not gonna lie.
Sweatshop-like environments with unpaid overtime and harsh working conditions. Given these issues, it's not unreasonable to imagine a Japanese worker getting stuck working at a factory in Thailand with no escape in sight. And all they were able to do is beg for help on the internet. They were likely not proficient in English, which would explain the grammar mistakes.
Think about it though. This makes sense correlating to this situation, bro. This makes sense on some like not even like to be racist, like tie this together. This is on some Squid Game type shit. It all ties together. What if they put these niggas in factories on also on some jigsaw shit too, like making these niggas play games and shit. If you fuck up, you gotta work OD and can't get up.
Also, the vast majority of comments they left were on the most mainstream subreddits, like pics, GIFs, space, gaming, and some others, suggesting they likely weren't familiar with Reddit either, and might have just clicked on the top subreddits they came across and commented on the first post they saw. However, this is where this theory starts breaking down. Because despite many people offering advice and trying to help, Fuji Tagaikan 001 never responded, neither in the comments nor in DMs. This led many to believe that these comments were nothing more than spam from a bot, which obviously isn't an uncommon sight on social platforms like Reddit. However, many argue that explanation doesn't hold much weight here, mainly because in one instance, Fuji Tagaikan 001 posted the comment twice on the same thread, something they hadn't done in any post before or since. A bot would almost never make such a mistake, suggesting it might have been human error.
Was Fuji Taijin like the big top dog of the tweets, or he's like, I'm telling you, but it's some Jigsaw shit, bro. If you watch Jigsaw, the nigga that's hosting the thing was in the games, gang. He was in the games, bro.
On top of that, while 44 comments are a lot for a person, they are a tiny amount for spam bots that can post hundreds, if not thousands of comments in a matter of seconds. Not to mention the fact that Fuji Tagaikan 001's comments were posted over the span of 4 days, with seemingly random intervals between each comment. Put simply, these comments were almost certainly posted by a person. So, what's really going on here? Were these comments really cries for help from someone stuck in an unfortunate, exploitative situation? Well, it's hard to say. From what I was able to find on Fuji Tagaikan, there doesn't seem to be any indications of shady activity going on behind the scenes. After Fuji Tagaikan 001's story caught some attention, several people reported the company to organizations like Amnesty International. But the company is still operational to this day, and I didn't find any news coverage of anything bad being discovered at their factory in Thailand. It does have a few dozen negative reviews on Google, but almost all of them were posted after Fuji Tagaikan 001's comment became popular on Reddit. One possible theory is that these comments were posted by a troll or a competitor with the express goal of tarnishing Fuji Tagaikan's reputation.
Even then though, it's like, yo bro, I'm peeping. That makes sense, but at the same time, bro, this type of theories, it's a lot of rational things going on. Like, that's what I be saying, bro. Some niggas is dead crazy. What would make a person out of every like place it could go? You have a phone, gang. Call the police. Why are you going on Reddit? I'm telling you, bro, these Blue's Clues niggas, bro.
However, there's currently no evidence that supports or contradicts this theory. The most likely explanation that I was able to come up with stems from the only comment Fuji Tagaikin001 made that strayed from the usual pattern. Translated into English, it reads, Fuji Tagaikin, I'm being subjected to power harassment in Thailand. The power harassment mentioned in this comment is a specific Japanese term used to describe workplace bullying, usually by a superior. And while it is bad, it's not as extreme as the slavery situation many on the internet assumed it to be. Here's what I believe might have happened. Thai Factory was likely getting harassed by one of their superiors. Frustrated with their situation, they turned to the internet for help. But since they weren't fluent in English, they used a tool like Google Translate, which unfortunately made their comments sound
this was like what I'm talking about. Like, why go to the internet? Can they not call the cops or something like this?
Far more serious than intended. Now, this is still nothing more than an educated guess. There are still many questions that remain unanswered, like why did they choose to spam it across largely unrelated subreddits? Or why did they stop commenting after 4 days? People on Reddit also discovered another one of their accounts named help001001 with similar comments, but that didn't provide any useful clues either, leaving the true intentions of Reddit user Fuji Tagaikin001 a mystery to this day.
I feel like that one's not too crazy, bro, because like, you know how many people got Reddit and it's probably spam, like on some troll shit? That's why it's like kind of crazy. You never know like what's really going on. It could be a nigga neck sliced off, but this nigga sending trolls out to Fortnite, bro.
2019, a newly created Reddit account named Snapped Fingers made a post on r/advice looking for help with his deteriorating mental condition, stating, seeing and hearing things that aren't there. Lately I have been seeing and hearing things that aren't there, even more than normal. Most of the time it's small things like seeing spiders on me in my peripheral vision, only to look at them and they disappear. Other times when I'm in bed, this thing about the thickness of a big fist pops up like a big snake on the side.
I'm good, bro. This is beyond schizo. Is this schizophrenia, bro? I'm not gonna lie, I don't think it get this bad. Yo, bro, if I ever see some shit made away me waking up,
in my bed and looks at me only to dart back down out of sight. Whenever I investigate, nothing is there. Rarely, there's full-body visual hallucinations. The last one was from a couple years ago when I was taking out the garbage. The silhouette of a child crunched down on all fours charged me only to disappear when I looked at it. And before that, there was a large, fleshy, naked, featureless figure slowly walking on all fours in the room down the hall, approximately the average size of a man. The OP then went on to describe how he did similar audio-visual hallucinations since he was a child, and how the situation was getting worse as of late. Unfortunately, he didn't seem to have anyone in his life he could rely on. According to the OP, his relatives dismissed his condition as something supernatural, and his friends, quote, kicked him to the curb, suggesting he might have had a falling out with them. The OP also described his reasoning for
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even blame the friends gang. If I hear my man start talking about, yo, bro, I'm seeing Ghost Twin, I want you to help me, I'm overly good, bro. That's equivalent to if you watch Insidious gang, my son showed me a drawing, this is the family, it's a black nigga in the corner, yo, I'm good. Like I said, bro, it's certain stuff, I don't blame certain shit, bro.
Not getting a medical diagnosis, as to him it felt like the doctors were treating him like a science experiment. This post alone painted Snapped Fingers as a deeply troubled person who is likely suffering from severe schizophrenia.
I'm about to say, I'm already knowing this is the only thing that can really resonate with this is schizophrenia, bro. Like, this is like, once you start seeing shit to the point where it's like niggas can, you visually see niggas running up to you and shit, bro. Even when he was asleep, that could be like a sleep paralysis, paralysis demon or something.
Possibly other mental illnesses as well. However, this was just the beginning of the deeply
like I said, the kid showing this is the family pictures. Yo, what is his profile picture, bro?
Disturbing spiral he would eventually descend into. Starting from his very next post on r/confessions titled, Saw someone get run over by a train and didn't feel anything. Things drifted from mental hallucinations to physical harm from that point on, with Snapped Fingers asking, if I bite off my own finger, could it be reattached or attached somewhere else? The OP also shared a story of a painful experience he had to go through because of his condition, reading, in 2008, I stuck a power drill into my arm. Sometime back in 2008, I was putting together a shelf when this large black mass came out of nowhere and engulfed my unoccupied arm. I didn't see it till it was right up on me. It scared me so badly and it was coming up from my arm for my face. So I started jamming the drill into it. On the second strike, I hit my arm and the hallucination dissipated. Concerned users.
Bro, this is dead ass like a nigga's haunting him, bro, and wants this nigga's like they want his body, bro. Like I watched too many scary movies, bro. This is like a common, yo, bro, it's a demon they want to take over. Oh, some Annabelle shit. I feel like it get to this point, bro. You can have the gang. I'm not gonna lie. As long as I get half of the powers, you can hunt niggas together, bro.
Once again urged the OP to seek medical help. But he declined it once again. He didn't want to end up in a mental asylum or become an experiment for doctors again. However, while he rejected most of the normal advice under this post, the one comment he agreed with suggested a fairly absurd explanation for OP's situation, suggesting that maybe the OP could see into another dimension. This was odd considering his earlier reservations about the clearly untrue supernatural beliefs of his relatives. But for some unknown reason, this one comment struck a chord with him, resulting in him spiraling out of control and eventually adopting the belief that his hallucinations were caused by some interdimensional being. Much of this new belief was fueled by equally mentally ill or outright delusional individuals he befriended on platforms like Discord.
Yo, bro, I don't get why niggas is not going to real help. Sometimes I kind of think they like, and this is why, not even indulging this shit, but I feel like some of this shit be fake, bro. Because, yo, gang, if I'm seeing ghosts, I'm not just about to just be alone for the rest of my life. That's even worse, gang.
Ill mind, he'd finally found the truth. So he began inquiring about how to deal with these so-called interdimensional beings, what was the best way to banish them, and what he had to sacrifice to make these beings leave him alone. Now, it's unclear if people giving him these ideas genuinely believed what they were saying, or if they were just trolls who were taking advantage of OP's mental illness to see how far they could push him. Regardless of their intentions, however, the end result was the spiraling of a vulnerable young man who now believed that there were, quote, interdimensional hell portals in the—
Shut down an interdimensional hell portal? Yo, bro, like I said, bro, it comes to a certain point in time, niggas been watching too much anime. Yo, bro, I'm good, bro. Yo, I'm good, bro. Like I said, at this point, yo, ghosts, you can take my life again.
Paris catacombs.
I can't even
and
imagine
that his duty was to close said portals. He even started denying having schizophrenia in favor of this false belief. To make matters worse, Snapped Fingers actually ended up traveling to Paris in May of 2020 to achieve his newfound goal, and apparently stole a car to do so. On the 5th of May, he made one
final— But this nigga tried to actually close a portal?
—post before entering the catacombs, stating, "We'll be entering the catacombs in a few hours-ish." Before, someone had asked about a time frame for when I'll post an update, and while I don't know how big the catacombs are, my guess is maybe a day or two before—
What is a catacomb? I'm good, bro.
—for my return with videos. I've taken some test footage while I was held up inside a dumpster the other night, and the quality honestly isn't that great, but it's alright. To make up for the quality of the video, I will take more footage while I'm down there. However, the update never came, leading many to believe that the OP had likely gotten lost and passed away from exhaustion or dehydration inside the catacombs.
And it's like, yo, bro, he's doing this shit dolo, gang. Like, it's some niggas that's scared to go to sleep in the dark in the crib. He's doing this shit dolo, bro. I'm good.
For those who don't know, the Paris catacombs stretch over 186 miles, or 300 kilometers, most of which is completely unexplored. Entering these unknown sections is pretty much a death sentence for even experts on the location.
I always wonder, like, how was shit like this built, though? Like, you gotta realize at some point in time, it was niggas down here. Niggas sleeping with night lights on and shit, bro. Like, bro, it's really niggas out here that built, like, it's brighter and shit on here, like, bro.
Let alone a complete rookie like the OP. But to everyone's surprise, Snapped Fingers actually made a comeback almost 2 years later in May of 2022. It seemed he somehow successfully found his way into the catacombs, explored them for a while, and then managed to find his way back. He made a post admitting that there were no portals or anything of that nature in there, followed by a final post meant to give everyone invested in his story some closure. And while he didn't go into details of what happened after he entered the catacombs, he did seem to be on the right path, stating, "Without going into much detail, I am not dead, and even though things are not perfect, I am always improving despite minor hiccups here and there. But as I said before, I intend to distance myself from this and will take the necessary steps to achieve that in order to return to normality." His account, which is now deleted, stood as a disturbing showcase of the delusions of a mentally ill man that almost led him to his own death in the Paris catacombs. Hopefully he was able to get the help he needed and is doing much better in life.
It's for sure crazier than the first one, I'm not gonna lie. You gotta think, bro, this shit happened years ago.
April Bever was a 45-year-old woman who lived in the city of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma with her husband, 45-year-old David Bever, and their 7 children. April was the primary caretaker of her family, as well as the teacher for her homeschooled children. In addition to this, she also liked browsing Reddit, where she went by the name of Aoki Mom. Given
That
her
name actually
otherwise
fire.
busy lifestyle, Reddit was one place where she could talk to other like-minded people and make new connections. Though many of her posts revolved around the love she had for her children. On a post discussing the financial benefits of not having any kids,
You see how this shit is from 11 years ago, bro? She had a whole family, everything. Her family probably grown, kids grown and shit, bro. This shit is crazy.
April wrote, "I have 7 children and we have always lived on one income and have never had any government assistance or needed it. We have a 4,700 square foot house, 2 newer cars, and my kids do not do without. There are childless people that do not have this. Life is about making good job or income choices and then making the best money choices based on your income. I would
Facts.
never give up having any of my children so I could have more money. They are amazing people and the world would benefit by having them in it. And nothing I could buy or invest in could compare to giving a person a chance to have a life." Put simply, there was
Facts.
nothing April treasured more than her family. Sadly, her time with this family was cut short in 2015 in what would later be remembered as one of the greatest tragedies of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. On July 22, 2015, the Broken Arrow Police Department received a 911 call from 12-year-old Daniel Bever, April and David's third son.
Broken Arrow 911. Hello?
Hello.
Hi, where are you at?
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma 7411.
What address?
709 Magnolia Court.
Okay. Are you the only one there?
No, my brother's attacking my family.
Your dad is attacking your family?
No, my brother. He has an idea stealing me.
The call ended shortly after, and any subsequent attempts from the police to contact the family were
Marco,
unsuccessful.
I gotta see how old your brother is. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like, I don't know why I feel like I'm like this, but I feel like I'm one of them type of niggas, bro. If like, no funny shit, no troll, if I ever get stabbed, I'm not gonna feel that shit. I'm gonna just be straight spearing niggas. I'm not gonna lie. Depending on how old the brother is, now, if that nigga big as shit, Hulk Hogan, that might be a different story. But if we about the same size, or that's the younger brother, again, you're getting speared through the table. I'm not gonna.
Officers rushed to the scene as quickly as they could.
This is actually
when they reached
crazy,
the
though.
Bever
How old is
house,
the
the
brother?
front door was locked, so they forced
you're
their
a
way
good kid,
in.
bro.
However, nothing could have prepared
I'm not
them for the
Superman,
massacre
so-
they were about to witness on the other side of that
Wait,
door.
don't tell me.
The first person officers found was 13-year-old Crystal lying in the hallway in a pool of her own blood. She'd been stabbed multiple times, including a slash across her throat. Despite her injuries, however, she was conscious and managed to tell the officers that her 2 older brothers, 18-year-old Robert and 16-year-old Michael, were the ones responsible for
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you can tell by face creation. I've been saying this. You can tell a primary upbringing of a sniper. I'm not gonna lie, you can tell, gang. He might be chill. This nigga, I don't know. Sometimes you gotta peep the sign before you peep the signs. I couldn't imagine being face to face with this nigga at dinner, bro. Imagine being face to face with this nigga at dinner eating your broccoli, chicken breast. You gotta look at this nigga like whole time, bro.
everything.
I'm good, bro.
Further inside the home, officers found the remains of the rest of the family, all with dozens of stab wounds.
Good, bro.
April was in
The
especially
rest of the family, though?
of the rest of the family, all with dozens of stab wounds.
With the baby too, dude?
April was in especially rough shape, with a later autopsy report confirming over 48 wounds on her body. The only one left unharmed was the youngest, 2-year-old Autumn. However, Robert and Michael were nowhere to be seen. Fortunately, investigators were quick to determine that they might have
Bro, my thing is that, like, no funny, like, bro, this shit be happening in real time. I could be talking to y'all niggas on stream, reacting to this. It's probably somewhere on Earth. This shit is happening, and you never know. This shit is crazy, bro. When I was on Fortnite, this was probably happening, gang. I'm not gonna lie.
escaped from the back door, and it wasn't long before the two were located and subsequently arrested.
Yeah, bro, like I said again, though, you can tell Wadu, yo, bro, this is the straightest, like, he's smiling. You can tell he didn't really want to do it, though. You can tell he got convinced by this. This is a demon game. No drill.
Hiding in the woods behind their home. When asked about it, Robert said that he was proud of what he had done. Later interrogation also revealed their motive, which boiled down to imitating the actions of other mass murderers they had read about on the internet. They wanted to start with their own family and then leave a trail of blood across many states. Fortunately,
My kids, niggas not watching no anime, no Tom Cruise stories.
Unfortunately, they were caught before they could execute this plan completely.
Tried to be Death Team Hunter for it, bro. I'm good.
Multiple times over the next few years,
Only
and were
good enemy
found
is Demon
guilty on the
Slayer.
charges filed against them. Michael was sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences, while Robert was given 9 for being the primary mastermind behind the crime. Aoki
I
Moms
told you, bro. He didn't really want to do it, bro. You can tell, but he hasn't smiled in not one pic.
while Robert was given 9
This nigga he's smiling in every picture, bro.
for being the primary mastermind behind the crime. Aoki Mom's Reddit account and subsequent posts are now left abandoned, seen in a much more disturbing.
And it's like crazy, bro, because they live in, these niggas are living in Beverly Hills, bro. They said they had a 47,000 feet square house or something like that. Niggas living in Beverly Hills, bro. They, bro, killing their moms, bro.
Light following the massacre that took place over a decade earlier.
I didn't want to see if there's any replies, though. This is crazy. Yo, this is a real person, bro. No replies, though. This is a real person, bro.
On the 7th of
Now, I be
August,
thinking too, I don't know how he found these either, bro. Like, you have to be deep diving OD. But then again, if you making, bro, he getting like 1 million views per video. This probably, you feel me? I don't blame you.
2015, Reddit user Is There Life
it's the
After
last one.
Lyme made a post in the Lyme disease subreddit recounting her terrible experience with the ailment, writing, "Lyme disease has ruined my life. I was diagnosed by an LLMD last year with congenital Lyme disease, as well as several co-infections after several years of suffering with horrible brain fog, depression, vision problems, and memory loss. I was so happy to finally get a diagnosis. Since then, I have been getting treated, but I have not gotten any better at all. I am a single working mother, and between visits to my LLMD and the formulas I buy from her and paying for things for my child, I am struggling to stay afloat. I do not have health insurance, and it's getting to the point where I'm looking into food stamps. My LLMD
There's nothing wrong
tells me
with
that
food
I'll get
stamps.
worse if I stop the treatments now because the bacteria are smart. There are no other LLMDs in my area, so I can't go for a second opinion, and it's useless to go to a traditional doctor where I'll just be laughed at. I feel like I've tried everything and nothing has worked. I've even begun to see signs of congenital Lyme disease in my 5-year-old daughter. The hostility, the impulsiveness, the inability to concentrate. I simply can't afford to get her treated for Lyme. I've even asked myself if I should give her up for adoption and if I'm fit to be a mother with my mind the way it is. I just don't know what to do. Lyme disease has ruined my life. It ended my first marriage and estranged me from my ex. I guess my main question is, where do I go from here? What do I do if I'm not getting better? How could I pay for treatment without going broke and having to apply for food stamps?
Bro, it's nothing wrong with food. It's nothing wrong with food stamps.
And if all this wasn't bad enough, in a comment under this post, she also revealed that her LLMD was also strictly against antibiotics and only prescribed herbal formulas. Not only were these expensive herbal treatments largely ineffective in treating the core issue, they were actively harming her, with one of these prescriptions causing hallucinations and psychosis, as well as physical symptoms like an upset stomach. From what she revealed in this post, OP's life seemed truly hopeless. However, something about her story didn't feel right. The symptoms she described weren't in line with the most common symptoms of Lyme disease. More importantly, she herself admitted that all of her Lyme disease tests were actually negative, and that her entire diagnosis, and by extension treatment, was based on a single test that came back inconclusive. Either her LLMD was taking advantage of her, or she was lying
So
about
they
her life
lied?
to gain sympathy from other Redditors. In either case, something was very wrong. Despite the growing skepticism, however, Is There Life After Lyme kept posting about Lyme disease and other related subjects. In it, she recounted a psychotic episode she experienced at the grocery store earlier that week, where voices were screaming at her to buy specific things or they would hurt her. Most users who saw the post urged her to seek professional help, which would have likely helped her get her life in order. Surprisingly,
It's on like some schizo type shit here.
she agreed with these suggestions, promised to admit herself into a psych ward, and stopped posting entirely. Unfortunately, by the time she returned in 2016, her mental state had somehow gotten significantly worse. She started rambling about random conspiracy theories relating to everything from the child-free subreddit to the pizza. Is There Life After Lyme had officially gone off the deep end, and her situation was getting worse with each passing day. By 2018, her posts had become completely unreadable. These nonsensical posts were occasionally interrupted by her disturbing cries for help as well. But she didn't respond coherently to anyone who reached out to her, which was extremely concerning for many. This went on till February 2019, after which she completely disappeared from the internet, leaving many to wonder what actually happened to her. However, some Reddit users weren't concerned at all, since in their eyes, the entire Is There Life After Lyme account was nothing more than a clever hoax. And it's easy to see why. There were quite a few inconsistencies in her posting habits that hinted at the whole thing being fake. For instance, if she'd truly become incapable of stringing together a single coherent sentence, how was she able to operate a computer or phone enough to make these posts in the first place? Additionally,
I mean, I don't think it'd take too much brain power to get this, you mean?
if we assume the whole thing was fake from the start, it's possible the person behind the account noticed the skepticism and introduced the sister character to wrap up the story. On the other hand, if everything about Is There Life After Lyme was genuine, this remains as one of the most haunting cases of mental deterioration.
Alright, so this is just one of them stories. So it's basically another schizophrenia story, but on the same time, they were bored. It's cap. It's cap. I was hearing it, but I can tell it was bullshit. I'm not gonna lie, the best story on here was for sure, not the best sound crazy, but the craziest. This is like some surreal crazy shit, bro. You're in a suburbs, gang. I'm telling you, the murder mysteries, bro. American Psycho, bro. This was foremost disturbing Reddit accounts. Come check the reactions out live. Be streaming every day. October, bro. We getting overly spooky. Overly.